You hate the Li Ming nerf? Was Li Ming? Oh. Apparently Li Ming was nerfed in the Assassins. Okay. So these are upcoming Here's the Storm Balance Update, December 7, 2016. So this will be live on Wednesday? Yeah. Oh, they're also on PTR. Okay. Abilities. Flight increase cooldown. That's fair. False Step was honestly a little too strong with this global. Epic Mount nerfed a little bit. I don't think the nerf to Epic Mount was necessary. I'm okay with everything else, but the nerf to Epic Mount, I'm not sure that was necessary. Gul'dan, cast range increased by roughly 10%. That Rain of Destruction is just not good. Although I will say that last time I checked, Rain of Destruction had a higher win rate below every level except like Masters, according to odds logs. I think that's because Horrify has a lot of anti-synergy if you cast it at the wrong time or in the wrong place. And then Rain of Destruction, even though it's stupid, at least it does something that hard to fuck up. But Calamity now only deals damage to heroic targets. Wow. Makes me really sad, guys. One of my favorite Li Ming builds was Aetherwalker Calamity because of the race potential on BOE. Like, I really liked doing that. Li Ming still has decent-ish wave clear if she can get a max range orb lined up correctly, but she has to put herself in a risky position to do that regardless of what map you're on. That's a significant nerf to Li Ming. It's also significant to one of my favorite builds of Li Ming, so like it hits me right here. Samuro. Cooldown increased from 12 to 13 seconds. It's okay. Blade Storm. Damage per second reduced. Meh. Wave the Blade. Critical strike bonus damage reduced. Okay, that's significant. Mirage. Spell block mitigation amount reduced from 50 to 40%. I think Samuro is actually in a good place, but those are really small nerfs, so maybe. Zeratul, Shadow Hunter. Cooldown reduction upon quest completion increased from 7.75 to 1 second. Looks like Zeratul's talents were pretty much locked in place. This is still not better than Vorpal, by the way. It's going to be almost impossible for anything to be better than Vorpal, honestly. And it's just, I don't think at a high level play it's ever going to happen. Grim Task, passive. Ability stack bonus increased from 4 to 5%. Maximum ability power increased 40%. Looks like someone at Blizzard finally did some math. For the record, Rending Cleave is basically a flat 40% increase for Cleave. And that means Grim Task basically was only better at max stacks if you factored in the fact that it also applied a Singularity Spike. But Singularity Spike, while good, was not necessarily a significant portion of your burst, so Grim Task was like a shitty talent. It was just straight awful in 90% of games. I tried it against Vikings, actually got to max stacks, kept max stacks all game, went back later, watched the replay, did the math. I would have done more damage overall by going Rending Cleave. And I would have done significantly more damage by going Combo Slash. Because of, the auto attacks I would have gotten. So Grim Task was just bad. This actually makes it viable, but not better. It's going to be like, if you can consistently get to the full, 10 stacks, it's going to be decent. But that means that you have to be up against, a Vikings or a Murky or something, or be a part of a blow-up comp, which is something you can do as a Zeratul, but, it's not going to be good talent for the majority of people. They nerfed Mending Strikes. That's fair. Mending Strikes was overperforming. Void Slash. Damage bonus increase from 40 to 50%. That's also fair, because Sentence to Death was just ridiculously strong. This might make them competitive with each other. Oh my god. Why are they changing Varian? Alright. I mean, Varian needs changes, but I just don't want to rewrite his guide. Lion's Fang. Q. Mana cost reduced. He did occasionally have mana issues. That's okay. Slow amount increased from 30 to 35%. That's a significant buff. Parry. Cooldown reduced from 10 to 8 seconds. That's a significant buff. Bonus damage change from physical to spell. Okay. No longer heals from second wind and now benefits from ability power. Okay. Taunt. Health bonus increased from 50 to 60%. That doesn't actually solve any of the problems that Varian has. Mana cost reduced from 40 to 20. I don't understand why taunt actually costs mana, but that's a reasonable change. Level 1 Lion's Maw. Slow increased from 40 to 50%. A 50% slow is a massive slow. Like, it's a huge slow. Before, the only reason to take the Lion's Maw quest was basically for poke damage, because realistically, you weren't finishing the quest early on. It's pretty good, though. We have a Gardener now, for the record. I apologize for the noise. Warbringer. Cooldown reduction decreased from 10 to 8 seconds. So it's an 8-second stun instead of a 6-second stun. Okay. That's still, like, the only reason. Warbringer is literally the reason to play Varian, in a lot of ways. So, they can nerf it all they want. As long as they don't nerf it into the ground and make it unpickable, it's going to be the pickup. Level 7, Live by the Sword. Duration bonus increased from 20 to 40%. Cooldown reduction decreased from 3 to 2 seconds. That's still not better than Second Wind or Victory Rush. Vigilance. Cooldown reduction from 0.75 to 1 second per heroic basic attack. That still doesn't matter. Vigilance is underperforming because it's not a great talent. And because Taunt is basically a matter of... The reason you go Taunt, the reason Taunt exists, the only good use of Taunt, is not for peel, which is what it should be for if you're designing a tank. It's actually for lockdown. You just get someone to focus you, that keeps them locked down for like 2.25 seconds, and then your team kills them. Varian Jaina is one of the best combos in the game. Varian Jaina plus any other stun. Just is a really, really good combo. You can go Taunt Tyrande. Something like that. But you just... I really don't like the idea that they keep saying he has 6 builds. He has 3 builds. He has Protection, Arms, and Fury. That's it. He has 3 builds. There's not 6. And right now, Twin Blades and Warbringer are a little higher than the rest. Warbringer's not a build. Warbringer is just a talent. These changes are designed to nerf Warbringer's point-and-click stun frequency, increase the power of Shield Wall by reducing the cooldown of parry, greatly reduce the statistical bonus of Taunt, greatly increase the statistical bonus of Taunt, and reduce some of the synergy between Second Wind and Twin Blades of Fury that's creating so many problems for teams without a good counter to basic attacks. What would they need to do with the other 4 talent? It's not a matter of making changes to the other 4 talent. They would need to make E good baseline. If you have an ability that is worthless baseline, and you absolutely need to take a talent to make it worth using the mana to cast it, then you need to take that talent. It doesn't matter what else is at that tier, you need to take that talent. One of the reasons that Calamity is good on Li Ming is it basically gives her a third talent, a third damaging ability. It gives her a third ability. Like, Teleport's decent, but having it also do damage, giving her essentially a third ability, is far and away the most amazing thing that you can do. Calamity is still going to get picked, because of how strong that idea is, that you actually get a third ability. E, without Warbringer, is a bad ability. It's just actually just bad. So, it doesn't matter how much they buff Shield Wall, or how much they nerf Warbringer. They need to make his baseline E good before Warbringer is gonna not be the go-to talent under all circumstances. For the record, Shield Wall is a bonkers fucking talent. You put Shield Wall on like another hero, it would be 100% pick rate. But you can't just not have a full 3 ability kit. You can't do that. It's just not a good idea. Baseline is a skill shot escape. Maybe. I don't think these fundamentally solve Varian's problems, though. Varian's fundamental problem, which, you know, if you've watched Gold Club, I'm going to spoil this for you. Varian was picked 3 times in Gold Club. In each case, the team got bodied in the early game. Like, it was not close. And if you go look at what was going on the map, you essentially realize that they were fighting a 5v4 because Varian wasn't doing anything. Rich, from MB Black. Rich. One of the best melee players in the world is playing with Varian. He did absolutely nothing. He had zero impact in the early game. Just like literally none. None at all. Good teams will realize that Varian is a worthless hero pre-10, and they'll just body you in the early game, and you're not going to win that 5v4. You're just not going to win it. The problem with Varian is that pre-10 he offers nothing to the team at all. He doesn't offer wave clear. The Abathur and Asmodan are another good example of two good heroes that are really weak pre-10. In this case of stacking Asmo, he's really weak until he gets like 250 to 300 stacks, but that happens at level 10 in coordinated games. So they at least offer soak, right? Abathur has the hat, which gives him global soak. He can body soak during objectives. And Asmodan's at least offering wave clear, right? As he's stacking, he's clearing the waves, which is giving you experience, keeping your lanes pushed out so you're not losing structures. Varian doesn't offer soak, doesn't offer wave clear, and doesn't offer gank potential, unless you have a lot of burst, and he's level 4. So his level 4 stun is the thing that potentially bridges that gap from 4 to 10, where Varian is useless. The one hero that does enough burst for that to like consistently be a good blow-up combo is Jaina. And in fact, you'll see, we've seen 2B's Determined, the EU team, run Varian with Varian plus Jaina. And they even took Medivh, right? They were so desperate to make sure that the blow-up comp didn't get stopped in any way that they took Medivh. AD already likes playing Medivh anyway. But like, and then they had the two other members of the team. Like, that didn't matter. They just needed another stun. It was whatever. Butcher's another good example. Butcher actually can offer wave clear, though. He can take Chop Meat at 1 if he has to. So actually, I think the reason that Chop Meat is a really high win rate in hot slogs for Hero League, because you're not going to have people helping Butcher stack his meat. The Varian Greymane combo is good at 10 with Colossus Mesh, but it's like, it doesn't get you there. I already went over the PTR notes. Can I get my thoughts on a too long didn't read? Diablo seems pretty busted, especially as a secondary warrior. I don't know if he's main tank material. Dahaka's definitely not main tank material in most leagues, but he is better at main tanking. Chromie seems like she's going to be pretty busted, honestly. What other heroes got changed? Artanis seems like he's going to be really fun. He's still on a tank, but he might be a viable bruiser because he has the ability to... If Artanis can solo lane, he will be a viable bruiser. Like, straight, flat. If Artanis can solo lane, he will be a viable bruiser. Because his damage numbers were already there. I think this is the major points. I don't think this fundamentally changes Varian. Like, they shifted some stuff around, but I think his overall issues are exactly the same as they were. I think Blizzard doesn't want to admit that they fucked up. Nazeebo! Missile speed increased by roughly 20%. That's actually important. The major problem with Corpse Spiders right now is that it was a skill shot that traveled very slowly. Level 7, Toads of Fusion. Bonus per hop increased from 15 to 20%. Maximum bonus increased from 60 to 80%. That's decent. Level 16, Soul Harvest, active. Ability power and health bonus increased from 45% for each enemy hit. Maximum bonus increased from 25%. I like how they keep trying to buff Soul Harvest when Ring of Poison is like literally the talent that makes Nazeebo good. I'm pretty sure Ring of Poison is the only talent that makes Nazeebo viable. Phase shift, cooldown reduction. Or cooldown increase, rather. This makes the full Z build a little bit better. Actually, I shouldn't say that. It makes the level 1 talent better. It makes the level 4 and the level 7 talents worse. Which isn't good, because the level 4 and the level 7 talents were a huge part of Brightwing's viability in certain comps. Kerosene. Breath of Heaven. Increase the movement speed bonus from 10 to 15%. That's good. They nerfed Iron Fists. I'm really not happy about that. I think Iron Fist was actually in a really reasonable place. Earth Ally increased the cooldown. That's fair. Earth Ally was the best one. Which heroes have globals? I mean, lots of heroes have globals, but it's like talented. Baseline, like heroes that have globals in their base kits, it's Abathur, Brightwing, Dahaka, Falstad. I think that's it. Heavenly Zeal, movement speed bonus increase from 25 to 30%. That's still not a good enough talent to take, really. Oh, God, no. Anubarak. Base health increase from 2120 to 2226. Anubarak was oppressive. Like, oppressively strong at one point. And it was because he had too much health. So they nerfed his health and he became like tissue paper and he was dumpster tier. Anubarak's base kit is so good. The Beetles plus the double stun plus the shield, that it's really hard to make him balance, because if you give him too much health, he becomes this unkillable CC monster. And they need to do something to him, because they can't leave him where he is, but buffing his health is like the easy solution, and I don't think it's a good solution. I'm hoping this is just a stopgap. Diablo's basic attack has received responsiveness improvements, so they fix the weird animations that sometimes bug out. It's good. Stitches, Fleabag, passive. Cooldown reduction increased from 3 to 6 seconds. This almost makes Savor the Flavor viable. So Savor the Flavor right now is a pretty shitty talent at level 7 because the length of the cooldown on Devour is too long. But if you're up against enough microstuns and roots, those tend to be on melee heroes. Not like 100% of the time, but a lot of times they're on melee heroes. So if you get to the point where you can consistently hit multiple Devours per minute on a hero, Savor the Flavor goes way, way up in value. Savor the Flavor against like a Johanna plus Fleabag is pretty good. But usually Savor the Flavor just doesn't do enough. Sanctification cooldown increased from 80 to 100 seconds. That actually doesn't matter. Here's the thing about cooldowns that I think a lot of people don't realize. Objectives spawn like every 100... That was dark matter. Objectives spawn like every 140 to 180 seconds. So if something has a 70-second cooldown or less, you can use it during an objective, you can use it partway through the objective to the next objective, and you can use it during the objective. You're good. If something has a greater than 70-second cooldown, you know that you either have to get value out of it. One Mega Man fan, thank you for the follow. You know you either have to get value out of it during the objective, or get a lot of value out of it in between the objective to justify the fact that you're not going to have the cooldown for the next objective. Right? This is like a really simple dynamic. So 80 to 100, it was already over 70. So the same calculation is going to apply. You can only use it during objectives, or if you're going to get guaranteed value out of it, not during objectives, and that value is going to exceed the value of not having it during objective. Do you think if they brought Global on Bloodlust back, it would be viable? Actually, Bloodlust's viable now, guys. Straight up. Bloodlust is a fucking insane talent. It's just a matter of having a comp where you can force the fight. If you can't force the fight, people just back up and wait for Bloodlust to expire. You need to be able to force the fight. But you have to plan your draft around forcing a fight if you're doing a draft style. Yeah, Bloodlust plus Earthquake. That's a great example. Bloodlust plus Earthquake? You're good. Bloodlust, Earthquake, Tassadar. So Tassadar gives you burst shields, and he can go Force Wall. He can put the force wall behind the team, they have to walk around it while earthquaked. How did they leave? Like, how did they get out of that fight? And the answer is they don't. They have to take that fight. It's not favorable. So you have Thrall, Rhaegar, Tassadar, Vala or Raynor, maybe Tychus, and then like a tank who can either help you survive or help you force the fight even harder. Chromie Glowing Sands. Chromie Sands would work. The problem with Chromie is that she doesn't benefit from Bloodlust. Unless you take Bronze Talons. Nah, I'm kidding. That's not a thing. It's Slowing Sands. I knew what you meant. Plus Tass Archon. Tass Archon plus Bloodlust was an old Team Blaze combo that they actually like quite a bit. I think Force Wall is better. Kerosene. Fix an issue that cost Kerosene's final hit during Wave Thunder Fist deal more damage than intended. So they nerfed the bug that was giving him so much damage, and then they actually just straight up nerfed his damage from Iron Fists. It's unfortunate. Well, let's see if PTR is up.